Welcome back to AM Northwest. Our next guest is heading off to the beaches, Croatia. So we're making a piece of art for inspiration. We welcome back professional artist Elida Field. Great to see you.
It's so great to see you.
She's always traveling, always going to these wonderful places.
I know, it's an addiction.
Yes,
you know,
I love it.
I keep thinking, don't you guys think we should do a segment in Croatia? Don't you think Helen should come with us?
Absolutely.
I would love you to come.
So let's talk about the idea of doing a beautiful seascape.
Yes.
And water, I think, is really hard to paint.
Yeah, it
honestly.
can be definitely difficult. And I think it's one of those things that people get a little bit scared to do.
Yeah.
So we're just going to focus on doing water with some waves.
Okay.
And
I think, which one is that one? I think it's this one here.
Yes, it's this one in the front. So
this one.
Yeah, we have some other examples for people who want to add sand, or if you wanted to change it up and make it a little bit more realistic. But I also kind of like just like this when you do a zoom in and you just see the water and the waves.
Yeah, love that.
To me, that's kind of like, it's something different and unique, a little more artsy.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to start first with just mixing some colors. Now, I know you would say, why don't you just get cheater turquoise, but we're going to mix our turquoise. So we're going to take our angled brush.
Yes.
And then I have our mixing chart. This is for people if they want to download the mixing chart, they can, so they can learn to mix all your colors at home.
Okay.
So we're going to use the pea blue, which is on my palette, is the phthalo blue. We're going to just take a dollop of that, Helen, and just put it right here next to it, right to the side. And then I'm going to just wipe my brush and grab a little bit of yellow, just a little dab. And then I'm going to take and wipe my brush off, and then we're going to grab from the edge of my white. So we're just going to have this combo of the phthalo blue, yellow, and the white, and we're going to mix, mix, mix. And if you want it more like turquoisey, like I could add more yellow to that to give it a little bit more, you know, a little bit more of an aqua color. And then if you add more white, the same thing, you're going to just get these lighter tones. So we can get like 2 or 3 different turquoise colors from that. I mean, you could get so many different ones, so many different shades. So, and we could go even like a little bit more blue with my phthalo blue and go a little bit darker.
There we go.
Yeah, so if you wanted to add like something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the first thing we're gonna do is, I've got this like angled brush, but now I'm gonna go ahead and take my big kahuna, my big brush like this. I'm just gonna set this one aside because I'm gonna use it again. I'm not even gonna worry about washing it off. But we might wanna dip our brushes in a little bit of water. And we're gonna start with my darkest blue, with my phthalo blue. So I'm just grabbing my phthalo blue, and we're gonna stick that right on at the top, just back and forth. And go big, big strokes all the way back and forth, all the way across.
Okay.
Yep. And then we're just going to keep, as we kind of come down, we're going to grab from our other colors and just begin to start throwing in some lighter colors. Okay. So we're just going to kind of making it, and this is even pretty if those people, you know, if you guys just want to do like an abstract painting with blues. Yeah. I'm telling you, you could just go down and into these beautiful aquas, and it could just be gorgeous. But we're just gonna kind of throw in, I might even go back after I've done a little bit lighter, throw in a little bit more of my darker. So we're just mixing this, you know, getting some different blues mixed in together so we have a variation. Okay. And then I'm gonna show you how we're gonna come back. We could even use our palette knives. I brought some palette knives for us today to mix it up if we wanted to throw in, you know, some texture. So yeah, so I'm doing, that's great, Helen, like doing some darks and then some lights and then maybe some darks again. It doesn't have to be like an ombre, like we're not, I mean, that would be cool, but it doesn't have to be where it gets lighter at the front. We can kind of mix and match, because that will be like, you know how on waves, you'll get this like darker part on one part, and then it will get lighter on some other parts. So we're just getting a lot of coverage on the canvas with a bunch of the different blues. So I have this nice variation. So this in itself could just be, like I said, you could just take all these blues and make just this abstract, beautiful, you know, with maybe even just adding a little bit of white in a couple parts, and it's gonna be this gorgeous, gorgeous colors combination. Okay. But we're gonna show how we'll go in and make some waves. Okay. Awesome. And you can take it.
You're good at making waves, I hear. Okay.
I know. I guess if you're kind of a wavy type of a person, you can definitely comes easier for some of us.
Okay.
So that's once we get all these blues and covering it, nice to cover your edges too, because that's another really good thing to do when you kind of, you know, when you've already got that color on your brush, then you don't have to come back and go, what color
that's a good point.
You know, and trying to mix that color again. It's nice to just get your edges all nice and covered.
Now see, again, if you had the actual color, just bought it in the tube.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my
have to
goodness.
go
Don't
back
listen to her. She's bad influence. You're telling everybody not to mix their paint on. I know. Well, and then I wanted to show you this little tool, and I use this for like especially bigger abstracts. You'll like this, but you could dip it with like just put a little bit of water on it here. And if you wanted to smooth out and you really want to just get really nice and smooth, you can just take it and kind of smooth over to get the colors to blend together. It's something much easier to use when you're using a bigger canvas. But I wanted to show how you could do that. These are just called these like little handy edge painters. You can get them from a hardware store. So not necessary for us now, but right now we're gonna go into some waves. So I'm gonna take back my little angled brush, not the one, do the one that's just the clean one.
This one here?
Yep, and we're gonna go straight. We're gonna go with some straight paint.
Okay, white?
White, yeah. And then so when we do our waves at the front, we're gonna go like up and kind of make those a little bit bigger like this. And then as we come back, these lines are gonna get closer together as they get further away. So that's what makes the distance. So we're gonna just make some of these big wavy lines like this. And then, yeah, good. And then in the distance, they're gonna get a little straighter and they're gonna get a little closer together. So they're gonna get a little bit more, you wouldn't really see them waving as much.
Okay.
Okay? Now, once you start doing that, we're gonna grab, even with my palette knife, I can come in and I can add really thick with that white and start to kind of throw in a little bit of this and then just kind of blend down into my other colors. So I might go in with just my palette knife and then just kind of let that blend down into our other colors. And then I'll show you how we'll go back in with our dark to kind of make it pop. And you can just, like I said, they can be thicker. You can just kind of, as they're coming closer to you, they're gonna get bigger. And as they go in the distance, they're gonna get a little bit thinner and they're gonna start to kind of, you wouldn't see them as big, you know, and as making such big waves like that. Okay, so once I throw some white in, I can go back in with my darker brush, like with my darker blue. And I might take my phthalo blue. You could even mix a little bit of your ultramarine in there.
All right.
And we're gonna kind of blend out the bottom of that wave so it's gonna be a little bit darker underneath, and it's gonna kind of go, we're gonna push that darker color underneath that wave as makes that little pop.
Okay, I think I got that.
You got it?
Yeah.
So we kind of just blend some of that white in so it's not quite as, and that we get these darker colors underneath it, to kind of push some of that color underneath. So it kind of begins to make those waves look.
Oh, look at that.
Look a little bit more wavy.
Yeah.
And it's always like underneath a wave, you're gonna have a darker color right underneath it. Like you think it's like where it's the darkest part of the wave and then it gets a little bit lighter as we go.
Okay, gotcha.
And you can just play with this. It depends on how much wavy you wanna do. And,
wow, look at that.
Yeah, it starts to kind of come together to get, like I like when you put that really deep, rich blue back in to start making those waves almost come in like 3D. Yeah, that's looking good, Helen. And just blending it in, and then you can do it in layers too. So you could let a layer dry and then come back in and add another little bit of layer until you get as much wavies as you want to.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. That's so great.
It feels very ocean-ish, right?
I like it.
Island. If you can't be in Croatia with me, at least you can. At
Because
least you can bring the islands here.
Right?
So it makes us feel very much more.
Thank you so much,
welcome.
Elida. This was a lot of fun.
It was
Appreciate it. All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.